So just give us your outlook on your team.
All right, we're be real young. We started 6 sophomores offensively in our spring game against Jackson Olin. We got had a really good freshman team last year. Those kids have moved up the depth chart, and which is good and bad. I think we're probably the most skilled we've ever been on offense, but they're all 14 and 15-year-olds, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Defensively, we got 2 kids, 3 starters coming back and a lot of seniors that haven't played a lot but stayed in the program, really developed, and been real happy with them throughout the spring and summer, how they've progressed. And if a kid will stay in the program and not get discouraged if they're not playing their sophomore, junior year and stay with it, that's kind of what this class has done. And we got some kids on defense that I think will do a good job for us, and so anxious to see how they do. So really young offensively. We're old on defense, but not experienced with guys that hadn't played a lot. But we'll start right at 9 seniors our first game. So
what's you brought 2 key players here, but maybe tell us about an underdog that we don't know about that we haven't seen yet.
The other kid offensively, Jacob Jenkins. He's a tight end / kind of H-back kid that can play fullback, put his hand on the ground, tight end. He's also a basketball kid that's had a really good off-season, has gotten bigger and stronger from last year, but he can do a lot of stuff. We can split him out, put his hand on the ground, he can play fullback. So he's a kid that I think will have a really big senior year. Skill-wise, offensively, wideouts groups, we got a couple of sophomores. David Moultrie, I think he played some for us as a freshman. Jalen Ward's another kid that played for us as a freshman. Those kids have gotten bigger and stronger and had a good off-season. Cooper Kelly's a kid that's his brother was in our program, caught the touchdown against Hoover in 15, and another kid's kind of hit a growth spurt, played a little bit for us last year as a sophomore, but he's grown probably 4 or 5 inches from the last season. So, like I said, skill-wise, offensively, I think we've got a lot of kids that can make plays. They're just young kids right now.
For the players, you guys turned it around in that Oak Mountain game last year. Tell me what was the big? Was there some moment in time that y'all turned around and finished the season with 3 wins?
I think it was more of our seniors kind of stepping up and playing that role. Like they weren't. I'm not saying they weren't being as leaders as they were at the beginning of the season, but they were just bringing more energy to practice and practicing harder and everything.
They stayed focused in, and most teams get discouraged around them, staring their heads down, but they kept their heads up, and we all kept the energy going, so we finished off strong.
Harrison, Coach talked about all the young guys playing on offense. You're now a senior. What's been the vibe this summer trying to get so many young, inexperienced guys into the mix?
Just pushing them more and not really being as hard because they're 14, 15-year-old guys, and you don't want their confidence to get down because they're so young right now, and they're probably nervous every game we're going to play into, and just keeping their confidence up, keeping that energy with them, and just helping them out and everything.
At the same time, Coach said he felt like this was the most skill that he's had since you've been his main part. But what do you see from this group, when you're back there triggering it at offense at 7-on-7 or maybe in the spring game?
They're just very athletic, and route running is really good too. And thankfully, we had a couple of those guys last year, and we all know the offense pretty well. I think we're going to be pretty good this year.
And then defensively, Coach said that maybe you have a bunch of seniors, maybe everybody hadn't started before, but a lot of seniors on that side. So it is a difference from the side of the ball. Tell us what we can expect from this defense.
We have a lot of good leaders. Everybody knows what they're doing. We've all been playing together for a while, so that's good. Everybody, like you said, stayed in, even when they didn't play sometimes as juniors. And I think we'll all be pretty good this year on the defense side of the ball.
Harrison, I know this is not going to be a unique question, but I know you get asked about your name and playing the position, and your brother was there a couple of years ago, and everybody knows your dad played Alabama. What's that like for you?
I think it's a blessing, honestly, because I get a lot of they know so much about the game, and we talk about it all the time. And people always ask, is there pressure? I don't think so. No matter what, whatever happens in a game, I go by who I am, what I believe in, and that's it.
Coach, tell us about your kicking game. How's that going to work this season?
Really good. We have a kid that returns as a sophomore, Drake Tabor, that will be a junior this year. That's his legs improved strength-wise tremendously. I think he'll be a recruited kicker in the area as a senior next year, and he did it all for us last year. And with the experience and the strength that he gained, I think that'll be a strong point of our team.
Who will be returned man this year?
All those names I mentioned, they're all back there. Another kid's Michael Callins, is a senior running back that's played some wide out, some stuff for us. But he's another kid we basically change offensively what we've been. I believe in running the football. We've been a power team. We're young on the offensive line. We have quite a few scat running backs, smaller type kids, but we're going to try to get the ball in the perimeter a lot more than we've done, and spread it out, throw it a lot more than we have to. And I think that's what's neat about high school coaching and football. You kind of have to, adapt to what you got each year. So that's where we're at, and that was our focus going into the spring. And that's what we're doing.
Question real quick on that. You said you were going to depend a lot more, spread the offense out a lot more.
Yes.
So as quarterback, how does that change your game, or how have you prepared for that?
Just trying to get it to those quick guys, get them in open space, those playmakers, and we're going to be passing the ball a lot more than we usually do.
Is that going to be the biggest change from last year, the more spread?
Yes, sir.
How much more is it going to be than what you've done a little bit in the past?
Yeah, we had the Henderson kid last year, and got to try to give him the ball a lot, but we don't have that. Larry Wooden, we were just talking about him, the lobby kid at UAB. Right now, we don't have that back. We've got 3 running backs that are smaller type kids that catch the ball really well. They'll run it downhill some, but they're just body types not built for that. So try to spread more screens and more stuff on the perimeter.
Last year, the first 2 losses were really close games, and it seemed like, winning becomes a habit and losing can become a habit. After the struggles last year, how important is it to get off to a better start to the season?
It's important. We just talked about that in our team meeting before I let them go. Our first 5 games, and you look at our schedule, and I told the kids, pick any of those 10s we can beat, yes, but you also make any of those 10 can beat us also. So it's going to be every week, but it's important. Last year, the Bessemer game and then the Vestavia game, really heartbreaking losses. We go to Mountain Brook, first half, we're controlling the football, controlling the game, and first play of the second half, we have a strip, scoop and score, and I could see our kids, they just lost confidence. And Harrison mentioned this, but that's what I was proud about last year's team. Even though our record wasn't really good, our kids stayed with it, kept working. We were 1 and 3 and playing probably 3 of the best teams in the state the next 3 weeks. So to keep everybody gelled together was a challenge as a head coach, and could not have done it without our senior leadership last year. I was real proud of those kids. We kept getting better, and I thought we was playing our best football towards the end of the year, and we got to use that momentum into this season. And it's so balanced in our region. We just hope that it'll kind of balance out and we'll win some of those close games this year.
And you guys did win your last 3.
Yeah.
So when you look back at last year, do you look at it like, hey, let's take all the good from the last 3 and forget about all the bad from the previous weeks?
I think you got to identify why we lost those games. And, talent-wise, I didn't think we were disciplined. We turned the ball over last year, which we normally don't do. And so that's kind of been our focus, to be a more disciplined team. We've stressed creating turnovers defensively and stressed eliminating turnovers offensively, because you go back and look at those games, that's why we lost those games. And those, as a head coach, you feel like you can fix.
Coach, players, both. Social media's really come on strong in the last couple of years. For the players first, how does it change your game?
Social media?
Yeah.
I don't think it changes at all, honestly. I don't think it changes our game.
What do you use it for mostly then?
Social media? Just look at things, I guess.
Some recruiting, a lot of recruiting is on social media, and highlights and reports and stuff.
Coach, you've been around for a while. I mean, social media is obviously a new tool, new monster in the game. How How does that change your game or your approach to the game?
It's huge because it's you got to keep up with everybody that's around you. So we actually hired an outside firm to take over our social media, and they do a great job of coming to our, taking pictures, getting pictures for our kids out, promoting our program, and it's huge because you have to promote your program, promote your kids in recruiting wise. So we use it. We're on all of them. And there's so many of them, I don't even know them all.
Well, here's the next thing. I know you old school film calls us last week opponent coach. Do you use any of that in your game plan for the next week's game?
We're all on huddle. We trade 3 to 4 tapes a week of each games. We get them on Wednesday and get the following game that Saturday and spend, I used to do it with the pen and paper back when I first started coaching. Now everything's broken down with the computer and you just sort it and everything's sorted for the kids. So technology, even with the sideline stuff that we have during games now, you used to, when I first started coaching, I worked for a veteran coach, and I used to wonder how he could see everything that he saw. And I think it's an adapted skill you get as you get older. You don't have to see everything; you just kind of know where everybody should be. But now you have actually sideline video where you can look at it, show the kids, and it's just in the last 3 or 4 years. So technology has changed the game tremendously at our level, even.
Did you guys? What did you think of instant replay last year?
We played one game that had, I think, it was Thompson. It never come into effect. So,
what do you think about it in general?
I didn't know what to think about it. The reason I did not do it was because I wanted to kind of see how it worked, and it's a big investment by your program to have it. So, I think our officials do a good job, and I think it puts a little extra pressure on those guys. So, I think it could be a good deal once we get all the kinks and everything works out.
Will you guys have it this year?
We do not. We will not.
Going back to what he was asked about social media, you mentioned that you've hired an outside firm to handle your outbound social media. What have you had to teach your student athletes about what not to do on social media?
Our parents do a great job with that. I have not had to address that a lot. I follow a lot of our kids just to monitor to make sure stuff's not going on. The main thing is anything in the locker room. If you're filming something and something may show up that don't need to be on that, but as far as our kids' language and stuff like that, we monitor that, but our parents do a great job with our kids monitoring also. So I hadn't had a big issue with that.
Some programs have a bigger problem with the parents than they do with the kids. Has that been the case with you?
Not yet. No, our parents are very supportive, and we have not had any issues with it so far. So.